Hello guys, welcome back to another interesting, exciting, expository video. Today's video is from Living Simply Australia. It's titled 11 Weird Things I Had Never Seen Before Coming to Australia. So this is the 2024 edition. What have you heard about Australia? I'm going to tell you one I've heard or I've seen the videos making the rounds of what I've heard or seen about Australia. I think one thing is about the wildlife there. You can wake up in the morning and see big python coming in through your roof. Oh my gosh. Or the wild animals. I know, I've heard about that. I've seen that in videos and it is very scary about Australia. Australia is a place I really love to go to, but I don't know. I think this video is going to explain a lot of things and give us a better understanding about the country, because I've never been to Australia before. I only see videos and see them in movies. Yeah. So anyway, my name is Ogechi. If this is your first time stopping by, hello, welcome to Ogechi Reaction. Here we react to videos making the rounds, podcasts, music, and lots more. If you're interested in what you're seeing or would be interested in any other thing I will be dropping, do well to click on the red subscribe button, like this video, drop a comment on what you think about Australia, okay? And to all my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. Thank you for coming back. Turn on your post notification bell so you'll be the first person to know when a new video drops, okay? Living Simply Australia is where I got the video from. It's titled 11 Weird Things I Had Never Seen Before Coming to America. Let's get straight into it. Are you ready? I am ready.
In this video, we're going to talk about the weirdest things I found in Australia that I had never seen before. Let's get started. The first thing is separate toilets and no bidets. In Australia, many houses are usually designed with the toilets separate from the main bathroom. So basically you have a little room just for the toilet and then a bathroom where you wash your hands, you have the mirror, the shower. And based on my research, historically, this was done for practical reasons, to allow one person to use the toilet while another uses the bathroom, etc. And another reason, of course, is hygiene and privacy. And again, this is something super surprising because in my country,
was that weird for you? It is not weird for me. It's not weird for me because where I'm coming from, I am, it is normal to see bathrooms, like the toilets, a bit separated from the bathroom or the washroom, right, where you wash your hands and dry your hands and all of those things, or the bathroom. Yeah, I don't think it's weird for me personally, but since maybe where she's coming from, it's usually joined, like it's usually together. But where I'm coming from, I don't think it's not weird, like it's normal. It's normal.
I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and in my country, separate toilets don't exist. So when I first came here, especially I was living in a share house, and yeah, I found it very interesting, but at the same time, again, very practical, especially if you're living in a house with a lot of people, perhaps a big family with children. You don't have to wait for your turn to use the toilet. You just can go and then another person can have a shower in the separate bathroom. And another thing in relation to this, in relation to bathrooms and toilets, and this is something that I had first seen in the US, and then when I came to Australia again, it surprised me because it's not usual here either. It's bidets, or we call them bidet. Yeah, that was another huge difference. In my country, Argentina, bidets are basically an essential part of the bathroom, and in many European countries this is the case as well. But yeah, in Australia they don't exist. And I remember I was so surprised that I told my friends about it and they were like, oh, that's disgusting, how come they don't have bidets? Then I told my Aussie friends about the bidets and they find disgusting the fact that we have bidets as well. So it's a very interesting cultural difference, and yeah, I don't know, it's something that caught my attention. The second thing that I found very weird is Vegemite. Aussies love their Vegemite, and again, this is one of the weirdest things that I've come across. And if you don't know what it is, this is a spread that is made of brewer's yeast extract, a byproduct of beer manufacturing, that you can put on a piece of toast crackers, sandwiches. And I remember the first time that I tried Vegemite. It wasn't actually here in Australia, but it was 1 year before coming here. I was studying English with an Aussie teacher, and I remember that he brought Vegemite for me to try. And at the beginning, when I looked at it, I hadn't tried it yet. When I looked at it, I thought it was yummy because it reminded me of chocolate, right? Like if you see the color of Vegemite, it looks like Nutella. And then, of course, I gave it a try. He put it on a piece of toast. Basically, you have just to put a bit of butter, then a bit of Vegemite. And I tried it, and yeah, my face, it was basically lemon face. It was the weirdest thing that I had ever tried in my life. Now I like it. I don't eat it every day, but I do live with my Aussie partner, and Vegemite is an essential item in the house, in the fridge. And to give you an idea, it basically tastes very...
To be honest, I would love to try Vegemite because I'm a Nutella fan. I love chocolate spread on my toast, yeah. So Vegemite, she says like lemon. Yeah, I think I would like to try it. I'm hearing it for the first time. I've never had it, never tried, never seen it, but from what I can see, what she's trying to explain, I think it's something I'd like to try. Yeah, I would like to try because I'm a toast fan. I'm a fan of toast. So anything that's going to spread on my bread, Nutella, anything, I think I'm going to try it. It's something I would love to try. Vegemite, yeah.
An idea, it basically tastes very salty, kind of bitter as well. And an interesting fact as well is that Vegemite apparently was born in the 1920s in Melbourne, and it was an attempt to replicate the British Marmite, which I haven't tried. Please don't troll me, because when I read this interesting fact on my partner, he got very offended. So please don't blame it on me. This is on the internet. I don't know whether it is true or not. You can, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. Another thing that caught my attention when I first came to Australia is the fact that alcohol is sold separately. So you won't find alcohol in supermarkets. I remember the first time that I went to a supermarket getting a bottle of wine, and I spent at least 30 minutes going around just looking for the alcohol section, right? And I couldn't find it, and until I asked, and of course I realized that there was a bottle shop outside. Apparently this is a measure that they've taken to limit excessive alcohol drinking. As I've said in other videos, Australia is known for having a strong drinking culture, and that's why there are high taxes on...
That's actually very good, actually. It will help people actually, well, I think personally, if it's sold in regular supermarkets, it's possible people just go there, like shop for it like normal. But when you're going to an alcohol shop, it helps control the excessive drinking. For people that are excessive drinkers, right, it helps control, because when you're going there often, it's not like you're shopping for your normal groceries, right? You're going to shop for it separately, and you go there often, you'll be able to think and know when you are drinking excessively. That's what I think. But I think it's actually a very reasonable thing, personally, yeah.
And that's why there are high taxes on alcohol, and also it seems that that's the reason why they have separate bottle shops. Whereas in my country, in Argentina, as well as in many European countries, when you go to the supermarket, you'll always find the alcohol section right in there. We don't have separate bottle shops, so that's an interesting difference and something that now I've gotten used to it, but yeah, it's still a bit I don't know, weird. Again, another thing that caught my attention when I first came to Australia is the fact that Australians place stuff that they don't want on the street outside their home. And this practice is called hard rubbish collection. And most of these items are usually pieces of furniture or appliances that people put outside their homes for other people to come and pick them up, or for a truck to pick it up. So it's very interesting, and to be honest, many of these items are usually in really good shape. I know many people who basically make a living out of that. They go and collect, I don't know, a couch that perhaps is in good condition or just a bit dirty. They clean it up or they refurbish it, and then they sell it on Facebook Marketplace, and they made a lot of money. So yeah, perhaps it's a good business idea if you want to explore that. Another thing that I found very surprising when I first came to Australia is the fact that there are very, very hefty fines for putting your feet on public transport seats. And these fines actually go up to 288 Australian dollars. It's insane. And of course, it makes sense, right? I don't think anywhere in...
What? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Just imagine you go to Australia for the first time and you're not aware of that fine. That's a lot of money. But it actually makes sense to help control, you know, some people can just go into a train and they just put their legs on the seat. Your legs are not supposed to be on the seat, but your butts, right? Yeah.
right? I don't think anywhere in the world it's polite or respectful to put your feet on the seat, right? On the public transport seat where other people are going to sit. It's basic good manners. But I had never seen that they actually fine you for that, and such, again, hefty fines. So yeah, that's something that caught my attention. Housewarming parties.
Probably, I think the reason why there's a fine for it is because maybe it's like a culture, like people do it often. So a way to actually curb it or control it is to actually place a fine. People will not respect something, like where I'm coming from, people will not respect something unless there's a heavy fine on something. So you put a heavy fine on, don't go this way, don't pass, don't like, make sure you use the pedestrian crossing and not just cross the highway like that. If you put a fine, nobody's going to ever cross that road. People will use the pedestrian crossing. But if there's no fine, there's just a law. Sometimes people will just once in a while people will just be crossing the street, and it's wrong. Actually, it's for your own good, right? Yeah. So I think maybe it's a cultural thing. People are not like cultural, like it's a regular thing, so they had to put a heavy fine. When there's a heavy fine, not just maybe 5 Canadian, I said Australian dollars, you know that, okay, they're going to actually see that nobody does that, which I think is sensible if you ask me.
Attention. Housewarming parties. Now, I remember the first time that I was invited to a gathering here in Australia, and that was actually a housewarming party. And I remember when I got that invitation, I was a bit confused because I was like, what is a housewarming party? I had to Google it, right? And I'm sure that housewarming parties are very normal in many countries, but at least not in mine. So again, for me, this was weird. And if you don't know what a housewarming party is, let me explain very quickly. This is basically a tradition where you invite your friends to come see your new home. Basically, when you move to a new house, you have a gathering with drinks, finger food, etc., and you show your friends your new place. That's basically it. I feel that it's an excuse to just have a gathering and drink with your mates, and that's perfectly fine. I actually love housewarming parties, so much so that in my previous place, back in 2019, before the pandemic, I hosted a onesie housewarming party. We were 35 adults, all wearing onesies and having snacks, chatting, playing games. It was super fun, and since then I love housewarming parties. So it was a pleasant surprise. Okay, let's talk about the healthcare system and doctors in Australia, because this is something that as well, it really surprised me when I first came here. To be honest, I was a bit confused. Now, if you want to know about the healthcare system in Australia, I have a whole dedicated video about it. I think it's going to make your life easier. Now, in my country, in Argentina, and I know many European countries are exactly the same, when you have an ailment, when you're feeling sick, perhaps you have a tummy issue, you usually go to the specialist directly. You go to the gastroenterologist, right? That's the case in my country. Whereas here in Australia, your first point of contact is your GP, your general practitioner. Basically, a doctor that does general practice, and they're not a specialist, but they do everything. It's general medicine. And then perhaps they're going to give you a prescription, refer you for x-rays, etc. Now, if your tummy ache gets worse over time and the issue doesn't get resolved, then your GP is going to refer you to a specialist. But your first point of contact here in Australia is a GP. Another example, if you have to go to the gynecologist and have a pap smear, here in Australia, again, you go to your GP first. Whereas in my country, you usually go to the gynecologist first, and you're going to have your own gynecologist, your specialist, and you have all the tests. The gynecologist does everything for you. Whereas here in Australia, you are going to go to the GP or a nurse, perhaps, and they're going to do that for you. Something interesting, again, a huge difference. Again,
well, I think I love Australia already. I love Australia already. About this healthcare issue, I think it's a two-way thing for me. I love and I don't love it. I love because, I think it's good that you see a GP, for a general practitioner first, who now directs you to, the specialist in whatever ailment you have, which I think is really cool. That way you are not confused about what to do, what not to do, and all of those things. And another reason why, what am I saying now, it's a love-hate because what if it is urgent? What do they do in case of emergencies? Like, I'm having a really, really, really bad tummy ache, and I really need attention, I really need care. Will I go through? Because it's going to be a long process. Now they're going to take your vitals, you now see a GP, and then he talks to you before you now see a specialist. that's going to take like an entire day, if not more. I'm even saying it might be more. So I think what happens in cases of emergencies, like how does that even work? But every other situation, I think I like it. I actually love it. Yeah.
Huge difference. Again, another thing that really surprised me when I first came to Australia was Australian football, or footy, or Aussie rules, or it has so many names, AFL. Anyway, I remember the first time I was here, I got my apartment, I turned the TV on, and there was a footy match going on. For me, it was a big surprise. And to be honest, at the time, I hadn't even heard about footy. Yeah, it was a mix of rugby and soccer, but I wasn't really sure what was going on. It's basically neither. It's just a unique sport, very unique, again, to Australia. And Aussies love it, especially here in Melbourne. Most of my Australian colleagues as well, they're super fans of Collingwood, Richmond, Essendon. It's very interesting. I've been to 2 footy matches. What I really liked is the family environment. It's very family oriented. Rivals can sit next to each other. There's no aggression. Well, at least in my opinion, when I compare it to the Argentinian team, or when you compare it to England, they're much more, it's another kind of passion, if you want. But here in Australia, it's more family oriented, and that's something that I really appreciate and I do like. Another thing that surprised me about Australia is the fact that it's compulsory for school kids to always wear sun protective hats outside. Of course, the reason for this is that Australia has some of the highest UV levels in the world. So it's a measure, again, that for me was surprising, because when I was in school, I didn't have to wear a hat. It wasn't compulsory, but at the same time, it makes complete sense. So it's actually really, really good. And another thing in relation to the Australian school dress code, if you want, is the fact that school kids have to carry very big bags. So you see the little 7-year-old carrying a bag that it's almost bigger than them. And I don't know, it's weird. In my uneducated opinion, and I'm not a health professional, I'm not a chiropractor, so I'm not sure, but in my opinion, carrying a lot of weight at that age probably poses some kind of risk for the kid's posture. I'm not sure. You can leave a comment if you know more about this. Growing up, in my case, all kids have the wheelie bags. We basically use that. So that was another thing that I found weird, surprising. I don't know if it's good or bad.
What could be, I think maybe like in situations where they have to carry all their books to school, carry bag and take them back home like every day. They don't keep their books in school, because maybe now the only thing they now carry to school is just their homework and their lunch bag. Yeah, I think that's weird for me. Yeah, that's a bit weird for me, because when I was in school, I think children here, they leave their books in school. They only take their homework books home and then carry their lunch bag and maybe any other extra thing. So whatever is heavy in their bag is their personal effects and not their books and all of that. Yeah, it has a way of maybe affecting their posture if they are doing that every day, like 5 times a week. Yeah, she has a point actually. Yeah.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's interesting, I guess. Okay, another thing that I think it's weird, surprising, is the unique wildlife here in Australia. Of course, before coming here, you always hear about the kangaroos and the koalas, and these are very unique animals indeed. I don't think there are animals like these marsupials anywhere else in the world. But something that not many people know, and I include myself when I first came here, is that there are many more unique animals beyond the kangaroo and the koala. There are wallabies, quokkas, wombats. So every time I go hiking and every time I come across one of these animals, I find it very fascinating. It kind of tells you about the unique geography and diversity in Australia. I know that the quokkas are unique, for example, to Western Australia. So it's very interesting. And to be honest, even when I see a kangaroo or a wallaby, I still get very excited. Even again, after so many years of living here, it's fascinating and it's very, very unique. Another thing that really surprised me about Australia, and perhaps it shouldn't have, considering how important the beach lifestyle is for this country, is that they have a beach safety education program called NIPERS. This is basically a program where kids as young as 5 years old learn about beach safety and rescue techniques. So if you're at the beach at any coastal town in Australia, usually in the morning during weekends, you are probably going to come across all these kids being trained for the NIPERS program, basically being trained on life-saving techniques and, as I said, beach safety, etc. So it's something that I would have loved to be able to have when growing up. I find it amazing, and of course, again, this reflects the importance of knowing how to swim. Here in Australia, that's super important. That's the one skill that you do need to learn if you're seeking that beach lifestyle, I guess. So those are the things that I find interesting, surprising, weird about Australia as a migrant. And yeah, let me know what's your opinion about them. If you have any surprising things that you've seen here, what do you think about these cultural differences? And if you want to watch similar videos about life in Australia, what it is like to live here, watch these videos here and here. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
This was quite interesting to watch, actually, because I've never been to Australia. Australia is one of the countries I really love to go to. But because of this wildlife thing I see on TV of videos of people who have pythons going into their house, it's a bit scary for me. But Australia is a place I really love to go. I love their healthcare system. I love the beach life and the beach education thing there. Really nice, really nice. I really would love to go to Australia. Like, some things that seem weird for her are actually not weird for me. They are normal, right? Like the toilet issue, like the what else again was normal for me, or things that I feel like, okay, they're actually very reasonable. They are not weird, but I mean, seeing a country that does this actually makes sense. Like the alcohol, having a separate bar for a separate shops for alcohol, I think is very nice. I actually love Australia already. I really love Australia already. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about this video. If you are an Australian, if you're from Australia, let me know. Let's know in the comment section. Tell us weird things or things that we cannot find all over the world, but things that are practiced in Australia. Give us reasons why we should visit Australia, because I really love to come. I just need some ginger. Anyway, let's know your thoughts, your comments, what you think about this video. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, turn on your post notification bell, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.